don't play baseball, so go for it.
Okay, so we're live.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more.
Oh, thank you very much, Lord Sidious. What was I going to say? Oh yes, hello there. Welcome to the Flush and Glurg Live. I see hope I'm Siobhan. I see hope in the morning light. I'm getting very confused. It's one of those days.
That's okay. That happens to ladies of your age.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It does.
Thank you. Anyway, yes. So let's meet the plucky girl assistants, she said, trying desperately to get back on track. Please welcome
We actually
everybody.
have a girl assistant. Yay.
Please welcome, finally as a co-host, it's Lilibet the Wonder Girl.
Hi, everybody.
Yay! Lilibet, you're...
It's only been,
15 years?
15, yeah, I was thinking about 15 years.
Lilibet's association goes back probably to the start of the pod. Were you listening to Staggering Stories when I was on it?
I think by the time I was listening, you'd left, and then I went back.
Fair enough.
Because you went from there to WhoCast?
Yeah, I was doing the WhoCast and the Staggering Stories at the same time.
Okay.
Then I got very ill. Yeah, Lilibet's been with us, and then you were sending in feedback, and
Yes.
Dave Keep was asking, I need someone to co-host this idea I've got for a podcast. It's very eclectic. We look at all sorts of different bits and pieces, and some of it really strange. And I, because of the quality of your feedback, I said you should talk to Lilibet. Her name's Elizabeth, but it's the Flashing Blade,
Yes.
so it's Lilibet.
Yes. And so I got an email out of the blue. Hi, this is who I am. I'm a friend of Siobhan's. Like, this is what are you interested? And I was like, well, if he's a weirdo, he's 5,000 miles away. I can always block it.
And he was.
Yeah, but I married him instead.
Keep your enemies close. That's what I say.
That's right.
Yeah. You went off. You did Professor Dave's Ark in Space. You also
Yeah.
did the WhoCast.
Yes.
And it's a fairy story. I've always said it's
Yes.
a fandom fairy story.
It is. We were nerds who found each other.
And the amount of trouble Dave had.
Nerd
getting
love.
into
There is no better
America.
kind.
And it's sort of, he ended up having, I think, was it 3 going away dues?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He kept
I
having
think
trouble
so.
with American, not customs.
With the immigration.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Even though we were doing the easy way, you know, 2 English speakers married to an American. But
So he had
the
his-
English,
Sorry, please.
well, the American immigration system is
Interesting.
special.
That's
They like to
political,
lick
isn't it?
windows a lot.
Convoluted.
Yeah, and insane is what it is.
Yeah. So
Don't believe anybody who tells you things are easy.
Lilibet knows a Doctor Who. Don't worry about that. She's
I
also. She brings with her something that I wanted for the show from the very start. Which
Respectability, dignity, hope.
those
Hope,
things
that's
too.
probably the main.
Those
Yeah.
things too. Yes.
Pride.
But with Joe, the one thing I used to love about when I was podcasting with Joe back in the day, she'd always come up with a different viewpoint and make me stop and think, you're right. And I love it when people do that.
It's phenomenal. I had a student do that. I teach, and we were reading Macbeth, and there's a section of it that I've read this. I don't know. We're probably into double digits now, and a kid caught something that I'd never caught before, and
Always
drew a conclusion from it, and it was phenomenal. Banquo's being attacked by unknown murderers, and a third murderer has shown up, which in some versions is played by Macbeth himself. And Banquo cries out, basically, betrayal, fly Fleance. Fleance is his son, telling him not only are we betrayed, which tells him not to go back to Macbeth's castle, which is where they were headed. And then Fleance disappears from the play. We never see him again. And it never made sense that he didn't go back to Macbeth's castle, because of why wouldn't he? He was his father's friend and whatever. And it's that betrayal. And I'd never caught it. And the kid did. And it was fantastic.
I love your stories about the kids, because they really do sound great. Ladies and
They're
gentlemen,
great.
That's the best thing about teaching is learning.
Yes,
2 points to take away.
A
from
serious
that one.
student will learn, must teach, right?
One,
absolutely.
we've suddenly gone highbrow. And two,
Don't believe it.
Don't
for a
worry, we'll
minute.
bring it back down.
a little bit
We'll
love.
bring it right down.
This is the
promise.
Fashion Blade. You're in showbiz now. It's the Scottish play. Oh dear. We also have down there. It's the Brian.
Now we're in showbiz. Damn.
Hello.
Hello,
Those
I'm
the
gonna
Brian.
tell my mom.
Are you still American?
Yeah, what the fuck? Sure.
Then that's not. You had your sports ball thing this weekend, didn't you?
Sports ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Go not Pats.
Right. Good. No idea.
You
No
see,
idea
I
at
grew
all.
up in South Florida. I'm a Dolphins fan. They haven't won since the 70s. They have not won in my lifetime.
But the only team that actually had a perfect season, so
Yeah.
they can brag about that for years to come.
We've gone all American. I'm scared.
It happens.
And then
You should be. Next, we'll be talking shotguns and,
Yeehaw.
pizza and. Well,
God.
And down by there is the portable hole known as Spanky. Hi, Spanky.
Filled with all manner of fun.
That's what you call it, is it? Okay, how's your week been,
Oh,
Spanky?
yes. Different.
Good. Different
was
good or
busy.
different bad?
Different busy. Just, doing things, trying to get the house thing working.
But this is
Hopefully
good.
I've got the fire department online to come and burn down this trailer that's on the property so I can, because otherwise this guy wants like $6 a square foot to demolish it and cart it away, and that's going to be like over $8,000, and I don't want to pay that. So yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just have
So it's
like a
good
mega
busy then.
concert. It'll get
You're
trashed.
progressing.
right.
This is good. What's
Just
your
have
week
like a
been like?
concert on the property. Everything will be destroyed.
I wish some of the local stoner kids would start getting high in there or something and burn it down. That would be epic. You know what I'm saying? That would be great, but they don't. I don't know why.
If you're in need of a location for your meth lab, please contact.
421 ER Daniels, right? Trailer in the back. Wanchese, North Carolina. Go
You
for it.
must wear your underpants only.
Ah,
Brian, how's your week been?
be sure to film it.
Productive.
Yes, speak. And, well, let us discuss this evening. Right now, in fact. Last night was episode 3 of Thaco Gaming's latest...
Tales of the Astral Sea.
that thing. What he
Yeah,
said.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of the game you're in. Thanks.
Right.
Thanks.
Don't worry.
No
It's a little bit...
respect.
It's, if you'd have called it Colin, I'd have remembered.
Hold on.
But,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But there's only one Colin.
Thank God.
He's always with us.
May the
I've
Colin
got a
be
thing
with
about cute kids. I hate cute kids in things. And I'm sitting here with hot chocolate, getting very cold hands, and look at her.
Oh, yeah.
I can have a milkshake. It's South
Well, no,
Florida.
it is Central Florida, and it is it's coffee. It's a mocha, but it actually is kind of chilly out here today, and we're under a wind advisory. I don't,
Is it in the 60s?
yeah, something like that.
Oh my God! How do
I
you
know.
It's like
cope?
59
Those poor
degrees out here
iguanas.
in North Carolina.
Brian,
So
I
yeah.
had to find my long sleeve shirt.
Brian, could I ask
Yes?
you briefly, can you go onto the Twitch chat, please, and block surrounding Brune?
Ooh, wow, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good one. Let's block that sucker.
Thank you very much. I don't want promotion of our channel. I'm very happy with things. They're talking into a void, frankly.
Yep.
It's I don't know if we've got Retta yet this evening. Hello, Retta, if you're here.
She's around. I'm trying. It's
You've got full mod privileges, so
yeah, I know. I'm looking. It's been a while since I had to do this.
you miss it, don't you? Go on, admit it. You miss
Yeah,
it. It's the power.
a little
It's
bit.
the power.
A little bit.
Yes.
I like bringing the band hammer.
So, what in the hell happened in the RBG last night?
Well, you got very confused. No, everybody, they escaped from the black ship, and they outran it when someone else decided to go first. And you made your way to
We poisoned
The planet.
We
Beholder.
made Bob vibrate.
the jungle of the lizard people.
Yes.
You've rescued someone who, you're not quite sure about yet, but you've rescued him.
That's
And
that's
now
what
you're
we-
going on a heroic quest to rescue his compatriots.
No, we're not. We're going to get the second. We're going to get the second segment of the Key to Time
Mm-hmm.
from that statue that they worship. That can't possibly go wrong.
Oh no! Don't worry.
Just
Everything will
interfere
be
with their
fine.
god. Why don't we?
That always ends well.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. I've been there before.
I'm reminded of
Oh,
how,
God.
if anybody's seen the Bond movie, The Man with the Golden Gun, how James Bond got the bullet, if anybody remembers,
No.
from the
I should
belly
do
of the
it,
belly
but-
dancer that he needed to find the assassin.
Hmm.
I just see something like that. Someone having to ingest something from the belly button of this idol statue in order to get it out of the village.
I have
it's gonna happen.
plans. I do have plans.
It's gonna eat it.
I'm just worried that if one of your party ingests something from the belly button of this statue, where's it going to come out from?
Oh, I have suggestions. Numerous
Mhm.
suggestions.
You are bad people. You are
Uh-huh.
bad people to hang around with. Anyway, Thaco Gaming will be back in 3 weeks on the 4th of March. Mainly because Retta, I don't think Retta can make. We normally have next week off. And I can't make the 25th.
Yep.
Yeah. Retta
So
can't make
we were
next
going to go
weekend.
for this weekend, only
Yeah.
we have a conflicting schedule there. So now we're on the 4th.
4th of March. It's on YouTube. Look for Thaco Gaming. That's with a 0, not with an O.
THAC0.
And it's the same on Twitch as well. So like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, that's supposed to be my line.
Yeah, I know. But I thought, as it's your channel, it should be me doing it.
Oh, you really want me to do it?
Oh, go on. You enjoy it. You
Always.
enjoy it.
Hey, guys and gals and non-binary pals, you're watching the Flashing Blade podcast. Tonight we have Lilibet, who will now begin our regular hosting. God have mercy on her soul. We're also reviewing Doctor Who, Frontiers in Space, Space Above and Beyond, R&R, and Callan, some shit I don't care about. And now here's Siobhan.
Until it's called G.
You see, we should start the show, every show, with that.
Some
we
shit we
should
don't
do.
care about.
12 shorts from
Some sort of big
Big
band
finish.
music, like all the late night chat shows, and have that voiceover on the top.
Well, just remember, I am the gay skeletal robot.
You are very much a gay skeletal robot. Yep,
Yes.
there's no two ways about that. He's
Only
actually-
I'm not gay, nor am I a skeleton, nor am I a robot. I
You
know.
are a skeleton, but there's a bit more to you than
he just
just.
identifies
no.
as such.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, let's move on, shall we? How has your week been, Lilibet?
Okay, busy. I teach, so I'm up at 5 in the morning for that. I hate 5 in the morning. Very bitter about it.
It speaks
Um,
very highly of you.
No,
Always
it-
there
No,
to
I'm
meet
with
me,
her. 5 in the
it
morning
says.
sucks
She's
ass.
I say
always there.
bad things. And then I teach, and then I've been tutoring. So there's days I don't get home till 6, and then I run D&D club twice a week after school, and the knitting and crochet club once a week after school. So I'm busy.
Just a little
Um,
bit? Wow.
Just a little bit, yeah. And then of course there's a cat who insists on being fed every day.
No, surely not.
Those pesky cats.
Yes, yes.
Right, we need to know the name
Living
of the
things
cat
in their
for
needs.
I
the
realized
show,
what
please.
it is.
For the
She
record.
has what's called a life.
Mm. That's what she brings to the show, right?
Yeah.
Not- You
One of
lost
these
me a
things
little
I
bit
don't
there.
know what
Yeah,
this
they're
is
really
either.
Yeah,
so
That's
no,
not
if
match.
you could Google it, I'd be very grateful.
I work, I come home, I play on the computer.
That's it. Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's living. I'm not sure that's a life, but that is living.
At least
Mhm.
you get to
And
do
then
the
That's what we
main
do.
part of that.
Dave's birthday is tomorrow.
Yes, it
Or,
is.
Oh,
so
Happy birthday, Dave!
yes.
I'm sorry I couldn't get to the shark
Happy Womb
thingy.
Bastille Day.
But I had first of all I was out when it started, and
Yes.
then when I got back here I had to do the RPG because they wouldn't forgive me if I didn't.
Well, of course. Yeah, we just did a fun thing because Dave loved
Plus, it
terrible
was a
shark
shit film.
films. Yeah, it was a terrible film.
Yep.
It's 100% a terrible film.
He's
Um,
never got me watching one of those, and I wasn't going to let it happen now.
Yeah, it was called the Sharkensaw Women's Prison Massacre, and it was exactly as bad as you think it was.
Lots of boobage.
I've got to watch that.
yes.
Now. I can't believe it. Yeah.
Was there
Yes.
at least one actress that could
We have I
provide
think we have
shade
a
for a
link.
small child?
We can provide a link.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Yes. Yeah, they do all keep it mostly within their clothing. There is a bikini and a hot tub scene for no readily explored reason, except that
Why
these
would they
actresses
not have
exist in the
bikinis and
film.
hot tubs in prison, right?
How can
Yeah.
you not have a prison hot tub scene? I mean, really?
Oh, well, they weren't in prison at the time. They
Oh.
don't make me explain what stands for the plot in this film.
Oh, hey, you can
Plot?
watch it on
There's a
Tubi and
plot?
Flex for free.
Damn.
YouTube has it if you've got a paid subscription. Yeah.
Let's
Great.
put it this way: the sharks can swim through land.
Oh God, that's epic.
Okay then.
Film. So we had a lot of fun snarking it because Dave would have. He ordered this in October when he was home, and it arrived at the house 2 days after he died, in a classic piece of Dave comic timing.
Yes. Yes.
So we thought that the best thing to do for his birthday was to snark the terrible shark film that he spent money on to buy on Blu-ray.
We'll have to make it an annual event.
Yeah, I think we are going to watch a terrible shark film every year, right around his birthday, and
Oh God.
celebrate him that way.
Oh dear. Anyway, Bod willing, we choose something else. Right. So, what news has there been this week, boys and girls?
Burt Bacharach died.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
He
Oh,
did.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, 94.
It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing how much of his
To a
music
ripe old age, but
I remember my mum listening to a lot of his stuff.
He's fantastic.
I listen to a lot of his stuff.
Yeah,
Huh?
God, yeah.
He scored movies like what was it, the Butch and Sundance, and I mean
Yes.
so many others. Just
Mhm.
like his movie permeated society, and people don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You look at his plate, like the list of songs he did, and just it's you
Yeah.
know most of them.
You
And
just
the
don't
people he
worked
realise
with.
you
Yeah.
know most of them. It's one of those
Yeah.
things. You've heard them so
Yeah.
many times. It just
Mhm.
yeah. No, that's not good.
What were you saying a little bit?
What?
Lilibet was saying something, but we stepped
I
on
said
it.
he's that's okay. He's worked with. I was just saying he's worked with tons of artists and musicians.
Oh,
good
yeah.
Lord, yes.
You learn to just shout people down here.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm just suddenly remembered of something on Twitter once long ago. I'm sure you've heard of this, where I don't know. I'll say Adele, but it wasn't Adele. I'm only saying Adele because Adele's the only real modern day person who does singing that I know of. I have got that old.
Hey,
So it was Adele.
Her
but it
pop
wasn't
culture
Adele.
score is 0.
But they did a thing, I think it was with Paul McCartney. And the fans were saying how good it was of Adele, it wasn't Adele, to use her fame to help boost this newcomer.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
The ignorance of youth, yeah. That's always something cool.
We must have been the same when we were young. We must have been, sure.
I know that was when Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney made that video. There were all these Michael Jackson fans who'd never heard of the Beatles or anything. Were like, "Why is he doing music with this old guy? Like,
Really?
who's that dude? Never heard of him
Yeah.
before." Yeah, like,
Oh, my word. I didn't know that.
Hmm.
Mind you, I wasn't really
so hopefully that opens
into
some
the pop
doors.
scene back in the 80s.
Hopefully
I should
they'll
be.
open some doors for Paul McCartney. Maybe he
Yes.
can get a knighthood out of it.
Maybe could, get
Yes.
get a little notice, make a few dollars. Who knows?
You know.
A little
I
notoriety,
don't think he's
something.
released anything recently, so... Do you know, so I'm going to tell the story again. It's an old one, but it's a good one. I don't know if I've told it on this iteration of The Blade. I was going out with a young lady, and I was around her place. This is back in 1980. 86? 87? Oh, it must be 87. We'll say 1987. I'm probably wrong, but...
Hey, I was in high school then. Good job.
Fuck you. And we were
That's the year I
watching
joined the Marines, 87.
one of the music channels, which back then would have been Sky, a cable channel, Sky, which showed music videos. And Paul McCartney's Pipes of Peace came on. And we're sat there, and his mother turns around and goes, "Where's the others?" Sorry, what? Well, the other ones, oh, what were they called now? Oh, do you mean the Beatles? Yeah, where are they? I stopped for a moment to let my brain catch up, and then said they split up at the start of the 70s. Oh, that's sad. Why don't they get back together again?
Because half of them, well, no, now 3/4 of them are dead, right? Yeah, right. At least
I'm not with that young lady.
half of them, at least.
Ah, that is genuine. Didn't know. Oh,
That's what life is like in a bubble.
Yeah, shall we do some stuff? Let's do some stuff. I got to find the bloody...
If she was American, she would be a MAGA voter.
I don't think she knew what politics were, to be honest. Anyway, and now...
Neither did they. It's okay.
And now, from the worlds of BBC Television's Doctor Who, she said, getting in quickly before Spanky does something. It's Doctor Who. I'm sorry, but I do love that piece of music. I know I shouldn't, but anyway. A third Doctor Who is still trying to get to Metebelis 3. I say it's a third Doctor Who. We're not sure anymore. Nothing makes sense. Up is down, left is right, cats and dogs lying together. You know, it's... Anyway, and unfortunately, the TARDIS appears to be in hyperspace and narrowly avoids crashing with a hyperspace freighter. And the Doctor very cleverly does an emergency materialization and lands on the freighter. Unfortunately, there's somebody else out there.
No.
We're watching Doctor Who and the Frontier in the space war in space.
Frontier in space.
Yes, Frontier in space.
Frontier in space.
It's
Malcolm Hulk,
yes. This one's an odd one.
not at his finest.
This one is an odd one in that the more you watch it over the years, the more you appreciate it. I mean, there's slow burn and then there's slow burn. And
Spending
this-
87% of the story in prisons.
Yes, just different prisons and whatever. It's supposed to be a grand space opera. This was the first 6 episodes of, possibly not intentionally, but Barry Letts and Terrence Dick's tribute to the Daleks master plan. Remember, it's in the Doctor Who's 10th year. And so we had what was essentially a 12-parter, but with 2 stories to make it. You're quite right about the spaceship stuff. The Ogrons are there, and I love the Ogrons. Oh, God, I love me an Ogron. First of all, they're magnificent design. They really are. And their dialogue is just to die for. It's Roger Delgado and Ogrons. It doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't.
And it won't.
Well, no, it
And
won't.
it won't ever get better than that.
No, sadly. That scene where it's a case of no one else will be on this path, but we are on this path. Yes, I know. It was Dick Dastardly, essentially.
Yes.
And then there is that absolutely wonderful moment on the Ogron planet where Pertwee stops and says, "I've got a strange feeling," and then the Daleks appear, and. Yeah, I remember that from original transmission because that stayed with me, as did Planet of the Daleks. Yeah, I love that moment. It still sends shivers down my spine. So, who wants to go first?
Oh, I will.
All right, then.
I would like to.
Oh, please do.
Because this is the one. This was so excellently written that there's one thing that pisses me off.
Okay.
The smartest guy, arguably, in the universe is standing in front of the president of Earth, the son of the emperor of the Draconians, and he only has to say 3 words. Ogrons did it. And he says everything but on his first time getting drug in front of them.
Would they have still
He
believed
speaks.
him? Do they know who the Ogrons
Doesn't matter.
are?
He had one vital piece of information to get out. That's all he had to do was impart that. It wasn't Draconians, it was the Ogrons. He could have planted that seed then. Instead, he waited how long? Too much longer to do it. Causing how much untold, how much longer that got put out, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's supposed to be smarter than that. It was bad writing. Bad, Malcolm, bad. Lazy writing, plot device stupidity always kills me. I can't stand it for the amount of effort that he put into everything else. I guess he just couldn't figure out how to put it right there. They could have just shut him up or punched him in the face and said, "We don't believe you," and he would have been fine. But no, the smartest guy in the universe didn't know to say the Ogrons did it. For fuck's sake, are you shitting me?
Are you sure?
Okay.
I mean, you're obviously very angry about this, but surely Joe would have
I am
said, but it was
always
the
the plot
Ogrons.
device stupidity kills me. It just bugs me. It is lazy writing. It really is. And for a guy who is arguably one of the grandfathers of TV science fiction writing, Malcolm Hulk, it's what the hell were you thinking, man? Smack.
You have surprised me, sir. Today.
I know. Who am I? I'm not published or nothing, so how dare I? But I dare,
That's
damn it.
not what I mean. That's not what I mean. Your unworthiness
That's
is
what I mean.
diminishing. Let me just put it that way. The
But
sheen
that
has gone off
bugged me
it.
because he had so much else going on. Daleks, the Master, Ogrons, Draconians of the Empire on the rise of the Weapon Lord. It was great. Prison scenes and betrayals and it was great. Awesome, so much
It
cool
needed
stuff
to be
happens.
6
It's all packed in.
episodes long,
And he just
and he made it 6 episodes long.
I think to your point,
Just
though, it
deliberately
plays to
rolled a
the-
gutter ball on that one.
I think it plays to the theme, which is separating their reaction, Earth's reaction, and the Draconian's reaction to the Doctor from how Unit reacts to the Doctor. The Doctor's used to walking into the situation with authority figures and going, I'm the Doctor, I know what's going on, here's the thing. And they go, yes, sir, 3 bags full, sir. And these people don't believe him. They don't know who he is. They don't care about his credentials. They don't understand anything. So he can talk till he's blue in the face, but they don't believe him and they don't care. And I think it's a really interesting thematic. They're making that thematic distinction between his time with Unit and his time in space.
And that was a good thing. I like that.
Probably an unconscious connection with Midnight, the David Tennant story, where once again, who is he? Why should anybody listen to him? You know, maybe he's the trouble after all. You know, he's so used to walking into a situation and taking control of it. In this one, he completely loses control of the whole thing.
He doesn't have control until near the end, right?
Yeah.
And that was good. That was one of the better parts of the writing.
Yeah, yes, that's a very good Russell T Davies episode.
No, instead of the Doctor being in charge the whole time and just kind of running the show, he was like playing catch up the whole way. That was great. That's, you see the Master get brought in and he's like, oh, I see how deep the shit swamp I'm in is. Okay. And then the Daleks appear and he's like, oh, damn, I thought I knew how deep that was, but it's a few feet deeper. It was just great.
I think once he knows it's the Master, and then when he knows it's the Daleks, you're right that the level of danger is increasing because he knows how dangerous they are. But they know him and he knows them, and they all relate to each other. So when the Master, he knows how to deal with the Master.
Yes.
He knows how to deal with the Daleks. He doesn't know how to deal with these two governments who are deliberately suspicious of each other and are being manipulated and won't listen. Normally I just want to shake people and say, sit down and have a conversation in the same room. And they do.
Yeah.
Well, no,
right.
see, the thing is, you're right on that because, that one general guy who just won't believe him, even though they're putting the mind probe on him and he keeps telling the truth and he won't believe it, blows the mind probe up. I've met guys like that when I was in the military. They're just going to torture people because no matter what the guy says, they don't believe him unless they hear what they want to hear, right? And so they're going to use enhanced interrogation or anything else they can because there's something that they want and they're locked on that instead of just what is, right? And that's just...
You've
that's
just
his
reminded
fatal
me of
flaw.
something. You've just reminded me of something. It was something to do with Babylon 5. Yes, how did the Earth-Minbari War start? Come on, you guys.
Because
the fired upon a Minbari ship when it opened its gun ports to show their peaceful intention. They thought they were opening the
fire. Respect, they opened their gun ports.
How did, back in 1973, the Earth Draconian War start?
They showed
the general
up.
fired on one of them.
The
general that was in this movie, that guy, he fired on one of their ships when they were at a prearranged meeting.
Yeah,
because he assumed their intent was hostile.
With its guns out.
It had no guns.
Had no guns.
It has no guns.
It was unarmed. It had no missiles or anything.
But it is a battleship because they're like, why would our ambassador guy
noble
travel in
guy.
anything less?
Hello, Rockabilly.
Right. Why would this guy travel in anything less? Yeah.
Hello, Rockabilly.
So they sent their most ostentatious ship, and he blew it up the instant it showed up.
But I think that is his character arc.
Yes.
That he thinks he's right all the time, and that he thinks he's been hard done by, and he thinks, he knows that they accuse him of starting this war, and he is 100% sure that he did the right thing.
It makes his conversion at the end kind of, because it happens so quickly when he and the prince are talking that, like, then he apologizes all of a sudden. I'm like, 30 years or whatever of that enmity.
You would have expected him to just collapse.
Evaporated that quickly, but
wouldn't you? Just collapse. Oh my God! With the weight of it suddenly coming in on him, something he's been denying all these years. Brian, you haven't had a chance to say a word. What would you like to say?
I'm just really sad this is Delgado's last appearance.
Here.
I mean, as far as Masters go, yeah, he's it.
He's the dude.
He's the one, right?
He's it, dude.
He's the guy.
I mean, John Sims is good, but he's trying too much zany crazy. He's playing the Joker. He's not playing the Master.
Yeah.
Delgado was the master.
Yes.
Delgado was the
Period.
master. No argument, man.
Like,
He is
the
great.
telephone's made any noise. No, we cannot
He's awesome.
we cannot talk of Frontier in Space without talking about Delgado and the fact it was his last story. There was going to be
It's
one
no
more.
kind of ending
No,
for him.
it was cut together in the editing room, I think. And the last you see of the Master is just his hand with the gun being kicked out of it. And
Yeah.
it was supposed to be, apparently the Ogron eating monster was supposed to turn up, or they were going to be made to see it was the Ogron, the eating monster, but that never happened, and it went very wrong.
And he was supposed to be in a final goodbye episode to the master.
That's where I was
and
heading with that.
Then the car went
Yeah.
off the bridge.
Yeah, no, there was Pertwee's last story. The part Lupton takes in it would probably have been Delgado. It would have been different, obviously, and it would have been left up in the air whether the Master sacrifices himself to save the Doctor, and that would have been it for the Master. After that, we went to
The funny thing about their relationship, right? He's not above saving the Doctor's life so that he can have the opportunity to kill him because he doesn't want anyone else to do that.
Oh,
But
yeah,
him.
yeah.
I
He
get
makes
that.
it very clear it's a personal thing.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
No one else
Absolutely.
but him
but
gets
it's
to kill
very
him.
elegant. And I've got to admit, it's the perfect foil for Pertwee.
Oh yeah.
Quite frankly,
Another
Yeah.
very elegant swordsman.
Yeah.
It's basically their entire relationship is the sword fight from Princess Bride up on the cliff top.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not
Perfect
actually
analogy.
left-handed. Neither am I. Sucker right. That's it.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Mhm.
Totally.
I hate to kill you. I hate to be killed.
Right, and showing off to
Right.
each other and
It's, pulling out more and more of your bag of tricks and constantly one-upping each other until
Oh.
somebody comes out on top, right?
Oh,
That's
you
the way it
say
is.
that. Brilliant link. Brilliant link. Well done, everyone. Okay, Princess Bride. Who was Inigo Montoya looking for?
the
His
six-fingered
father.
man.
The six-fingered
man.
man. Have you
No,
seen
he
the
was
cover?
really looking for his father.
Have you seen the cover to the season 9 Blu-ray?
Yeah,
On
AI strikes again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pertwee has 6 fingers on his left hand.
Yeah,
Really?
AI can't get fingers right.
It's not AI.
Anytime it has to be.
No, it's Lee
not
Binding.
a picture.
It's an
Somebody
artist.
drew an extra finger.
It must have just been overlooked. God knows how.
Or maybe he knew
That's
about
hilarious.
it.
It's no, they've. I think it's Lee Binding at Teabag Designs. If I've got that wrong, Lee, I apologise profusely. But these are actual proper things done by a human being, not AI.
Well, it's
so-
like when you're dreaming, you can't tell how many fingers you actually have.
Mhm.
If you're
Yeah, little
dreaming,
things,
and
little
you look
details
at
like
your
that
hands,
slip by you.
something's always wrong.
Can I just ask if any of our audience knows a world-class psychiatrist? Could you get in touch, please?
It's the same reason you can't read when you're dreaming.
Okay.
No, you
I
can't
don't
read
dream
when
of
you're
reading,
dreaming.
so I suppose I don't know.
Okay, well, it's the same reason you can't put things together correctly in a dream. Slot A, tab B, it just doesn't
That's
connect.
just IKEA.
No.
Okay.
You could build things and they
I-
may be
I was
right when they're
unaware
built.
of
Yeah,
this,
but
but-
the process is never ABC, right?
I have a recurring dream, which is always very vague to me. So when I wake up, so
Mhm.
there we go. It's not a horrible one.
It better not be the Sun Guy Robes Little Pickle one because we're tired of hearing about that one. Oh, wait, that's my dream. Never mind. Go ahead.
Moving on. Brian, anything more to say?
No,
That
I'm
was
good.
it, just Roger
Everything has
Delgado.
been said.
Oh, okay. All right.
Everything has been said. I'm good with it.
The book blurb, the blurb on the back of the novelization is interesting. It gives a rundown of what's going on, and then it's only when the master turns up do things start to move.
Oops.
It's a case of, yep, sell it to your audience. Why don't you? Lovely cover, though. Dear God. Archelius,
Now-
one of Archelius' best.
They mentioned, I think, in the commentary that I watched, because I watched it with the commentary on and then realized after watching that, I had no idea what the actual plot of the episode was and had to watch it again properly.
Normally do it the other way
So I
around.
can't watch anything with a commentary on.
But they mentioned that the reason they're so spaceship heavy in this one is because a Jerry Anderson production had just closed and they had a whole bunch of spaceships that they were like, hey, you know, guys,
We can do a space.
we could do a spaceship one. But then they were specifically told, like, nothing recognizable.
Yeah.
You have to basically take them apart and just use them as parts. Which is kind of a shame, frankly, because it would have been nice to see recognizable Jerry Anderson guys show up.
Oh God, could you imagine
That'd
the
be
fan
cool.
connections being made?
Yeah, like, this all exists in the same universe.
Oh my God,
Mhm.
no. Lethbridge
You know,
Stewart
he's-
That would be
ended
pretty
up
cool.
heading up Wasp before giving over to whoever it was who headed up Wasp. And then he formed Spectrum.
Yes,
and
of course.
gave that to
Lethbridge
Colonel
Stewart
White.
would run Spectrum.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He,
But
he would love
Colonel
a cloud.
White got it. Yes. It's I don't know. It's PC gone mad, giving it to a disabled person when Lethbridge Stewart was around. That was nonsense. That was good nonsense. I applaud that nonsense, by the way, boys and girls. Thank you very much. We won't have an awkward pause. Not yet. We may
Not
have
yet.
later. Lilibet, have you ever played Kitchen Gun? We'll have
I
to
don't know what
explain
that
the
is.
rules to Lilibet about Kitchen Gun at some
Are we going to
stage.
play Kitchen Gun? Is that
Are
what
we
we're doing?
using the 1927 rules or the more current 1957
Well,
rules?
I think as it's Lilibet's first go, I think we should just play vanilla.
Ooh, bold choice. Bold choice.
Vanilla is pretty bold.
That's how you learn the game.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
It's
anyway, if you'd like to start,
Viciously like Mornington Crescent.
Well, if I'm going to start, I might as well start the day with a nice, healthy breakfast provided by HelloFresh.
that's an interesting move. Certainly for an opener. Spanky. Stop
Oh,
getting
is
up
it
your
my
list.
turn?
Yeah, stop getting up your list.
Oh God, what was it? I can't remember now. I blank. Go away. I have to look at my list so I can put my mind back in what the damn game is. You can't do that to me.
Well, Spanky, while you're looking at your list, please
I have to
remember
find the
to
list
look
first.
on using your NordVPN, which also will
Thank you
provide
very much.
security.
And quite frankly, if you're having
Mm.
that much trouble, Spanky, possibly you should invest in Skillshare.
Thank you,
It'll
thank
teach
you,
how to
I
handle
love
this.
being everybody's foil for that.
That's all right. Please, it's okay. We can keep going if you like.
Yes, I need you to.
Yeah, it's Mornington Crescent, but using the names of people who sponsor YouTube videos.
Ah.
That won't
okay.
sponsor us.
Yeah, that won't sponsor.
Right.
And I did reach out to Raid Shadow Legends and got nothing. They're not that desperate.
We reached out like hell for Twinkies.
Oh, didn't we?
We tried. We
Oh,
tried.
talking
But
of which,
now,
Lilibet-
now I've moved over to Chips Ahoy.
Hang on a second. Lilibet,
Yes.
I do believe it's open season at the moment, isn't it?
There's pre-order season, and they should be
Ah,
selling soon, like next week,
Good,
probably.
good. Time to take out some Girl Scouts. Yep, hunt them down.
They've got a new flavor out this year. I will have to send you the list, but you
Is
know
it-
what you like.
I like my choc mints. The usual
Is it
choc mints.
Becky
that's
or
all I'm after.
Veronica that go into the new flavor cookies?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Oh, okay.
It's a very closely guarded little brownie baker secret.
Mm.
Oh, hello, Chestnut. Bye-bye, Chestnut.
Well, speak cat's ass.
It's just opened up every fucking bloody tab going. That's all right. Okay, thanks for that, dude. Dear me.
It's okay. We're in New York. We have our own special brownie secrets,
That's true.
Oh
you do.
well, yes, of course.
and it's legal now.
Yeah, I know. You've no idea
Oh.
how pissed off I am about that. I mean, I'm pleased for you. I'm just jealous.
There's only one store in the entire goddamn state, though.
Ex of mine had a plan to make money off hemp. Not as weed, but as hemp, the actual product. You know, because you can do a lot with the actual
Yeah,
plant.
yeah.
And it's Anyway, moving on. Did we all enjoy Frontier in Space?
But yeah, I
Yes.
do think it's a
Except for
little
the
too
moment of
long.
stupidity.
Right. Sorry, Lilibet?
I think it's a little too long.
Okay,
I
that's
think
fair.
it really could have lost an
We
episode.
could say that about a lot of six-parters, to be fair.
Yeah.
The Brian? Anything?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I like Pertwee. He's my second favorite Doctor.
I'm so glad you said that, because if we've watched Frontier in Space, you know full well next week we're doing Planet of the Daleks.
Okay.
Oh, that's
that-
not meant to be a
You say so.
challenge. That's
Okay.
I love Planet of the Daleks.
That's the one with the furry coats, isn't it?
That's the one. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, it's season 10.
Mm.
Okay. I have the
Mhm.
Blu-ray thing.
Right.
I went and dug
Oh,
that.
There you go.
bless. He's only got 5 fingers on each hand there. Oh, dear. Yeah, so Planet of the Daleks. Word of warning here, boys. I adore Planet of the Daleks. So it was a
We
good
know.
excuse. It was a very good excuse. So,
Well, at least it's not Genesis.
no, I
This is
think
really well written, but so depressing. Just depressing.
well acted as well.
Yeah, well, that's why it's bad. Like, not bad because it's a bad story. Bad because it's the same thing with Midnight. I won't rewatch it. It's too well written. It's too well acted. It's too scary. I won't rewatch it. Saw it once,
That's
original release, haven't seen it again.
Whereas that's odd, really. That's the exact opposite to me and Fear Her, where it's really badly written, it's really badly acted, and I won't watch it again.
See, Fear Her has grown on me.
I understand the metaphor behind it, the
Yeah.
abusive father, but it's crap.
How many times do you have to get sent to the cornfield before you realize little kids are creepy?
Little crits are creepy.
And
Yeah.
can't act.
They're hella creepy.
I don't like
But-
kids.
Oh, I do like kids, but they
It's
can't
okay.
be
They
I've
don't
gathered.
like you either.
I gathered that as well, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's just how it is.
We did listening. Brian didn't.
You did listening.
Because Brian has work, and he's also working very hard on the RPG, for which we may take the piss, but we are very grateful.
I took some of you behind the curtain last night.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
I didn't
yes.
see it. I didn't
Oh
see
my
it.
God, the amount of work. I knew Brian had done a ton of work on this, right? But when I actually saw like the lift of the, like, what the hell? Like, man, you put how many books in it?
7.
Seriously, how big is the file on that now? Like half a terabyte?
I'm afraid to
Quarters?
actually look at how big that compendium is. I mean, we have to be talking at least 100 megs, probably a gig
It
at
is-
least. Right
It
now.
has got to be so much, man. Good Lord.
But we did listening. Sorry, I was using that to look up things because we listened to Short Trips 12 from Big Finish. Why am I looking it up? I found most of it quite forgettable. I don't know if it was the choice of narrators. I genuinely am not sure. Some of their stories disappeared up their own backside. All sorts of timey-wimey nonsense. Big Finish do have a tendency to do that, and when it works, it's really good, but the rest of the time you've got to stop and just go, what? Hang on a moment. So we had Salvage by Max Curtis. That's Eighth Doctor and Bliss, where they get caught up in Sanctuary. It's a place where the abandoned and misplaced can be found, and it's in the Time War. So, who'd like to go first on that out of you two? I'm having trouble remembering it.
The problem is, when I downloaded to my phone, only 2 of them downloaded, so I've only heard 2 of them. Sorry.
I listened to them all, but I would have to hear someone talk about each one before I could speak about it. Now, which one are we talking about? One
Hang
second.
on a moment,
Hang
I
on.
just want to
I'll
point
pop up
something
Netflix.
out to
I can look
Brian.
at 'em.
See, our standards haven't improved.
Our standards have not improved. I told you
just
we don't have
saying, you
standards.
know,
No one
you
listens to me
didn't
when I
need to
say
worry.
that, but it's true.
No, they have improved.
They have.
3 out of 4 people have listened to this damn.
I listened listened to
That's true.
AWOL and Identity Crisis. Those are the two. That I
Okay,
heard.
good. So Salvage is the
Salvage.
first one, Spanky. It's set on the train.
Right.
And it's in the time
On the train.
Eighth Doctor and
Right.
Bliss.
That's the Time Wars, right? That's the one that was an audiobook, basically.
They all were.
Yeah, but some had more actors than like
That's
just the
fair.
narrator, right?
That's fair. No, it was all done individual narration.
Hmm. Okay, that's
one
fair.
person per place.
But some of the
I like it.
narrators were way better at doing the impressions
Yes.
That's
and
true.
basically sounded like multiple actors.
What on earth was
Wow.
that? What, Brian?
What
What?
the hell? Are you making
I don't know.
espresso, dude? I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And that was
Hungry?
the War Doctor, right?
No,
I-
that
I'm
was the
fine.
Eighth Doctor.
Fine, I'm not making a smoothie at all.
Ah, it was the Eighth Doctor.
Eighth Doctor.
There's a range of Eighth Doctor stories with Paul McGann set during the start of the Time War.
Was that Paul McGann?
Yeah, it was supposed to be, yes. So there's that one.
Good
You
Lord.
didn't get to hear.
He's
that
the
from-
one I know.
I like how was that
Next to
Paul
nothing about.
McGann?
I mean, no, the Eighth Doctor. I mean, because that's like the only Doctor I haven't seen any of their episodes. I don't know why. I keep
Well,
missing
There's
Paul
only
McGann episodes.
there's only two.
You have
of
your
them,
start
Spanky.
screen up.
I know. There's only two of them, Spanky. That's probably why they're fairly
to know.
easy to miss. There's either
The
the
film.
TV movie or
Mm.
a quick short for the 50th called. How on earth did you end up there? Called Night of the Doctor. Stop it. Sorry, I dropped a thing.
This is the part of the show where we figure out what the hell Siobhan is doing.
Hello.
Yeah, basically.
No, you see, you need that up now. Yeah, what did you?
I'm
You're
surprised he
obviously a
hasn't
little
made
bit
it.
confused coming into it. Raw. You didn't know which Doctor it was or anything else like that. Now that
Wasn't sure, right?
is, I think that's a fault of the.
Which one wasn't one of those the War Doctor?
No, War Doctor's not in this.
The Gallagher group? No.
No.
Good God Almighty! What the hell was I thinking? Well,
Um,
maybe I'm confusing it with the other ones that we've listened to because there have been honestly, this is like the 25th installment that we've listened to of Tales from the Big Finish, and they're all great, but I do jumble things up because, once you scramble these eggs, they don't unscramble.
yeah, no.
That's just how it works.
You're quite right. The second one's quite good, and I think we all heard that. This one, AWOL. It's a third Doctor and Reveille
AWOL.
story, and it's read another tour de force by
yes.
John Culshaw. Um,
What an excellent
It's a little
insight to
bit
their
muted.
relationship, right?
oh, hang on.
I shouldn't be
Ah,
muted.
there we go. You're back.
Okay. Yeah, I actually had to listen really to the credits. I was like, I know they didn't have Pertwee for this. Who was it? Because it really, really sounds like him. That
Right? It sounded really good. Like,
yeah, it's so good, and it really does. I've been listening and watching through the DVDs and things, and that Doctor's so angry at the end of the Silurians.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it makes sense that he would go off and take some time by himself. And I mean, he's claiming he's doing a whole bunch of other things, but let's be honest, he's sulking.
Yes.
Mhm.
My
That's what
favorite
he
race
does,
in
right.
the universe has let me down.
Yeah. And I'm so disappointed and I'm so angry and I just don't know. I have all these feelings and I don't know what to do about them. And he and the Brigadier just have this little snapshot in time of them working through their feelings.
They don't really know
and-
each other.
Yeah. And
At that
the fact
stage.
Brigadier took personal time to come do this. And tracked him down in a typically Brigadier way, which was basically walking around in Peru or wherever it is going,
was Peru,
have
yeah.
you seen the Doctor? And
Tall
then-
fellow.
he may be accompanied by a small bear wearing a Macintosh.
No, that's
and,
darkest Peru a little bit.
Well, see, they seem to end up in darkest Peru.
And it's a duffel coat.
Oh, well, That's a key difference.
It's a key difference. Yes.
But
Looking
it was
for some marmalade jam.
exactly.
It's not marmalade
it-
jam, it's just marmalade. God, am I going to
Marmalade.
teach you lot everything?
I don't know. We're Americans, so we should be
Tonight's
teaching
Paddington
you now.
class brought to you by Michael
and it was
Bond.
just it was a really good, solid story, and I think what these kinds of stories do best, which is to capture a moment in time between characters in a absolute fan fiction kind of way. What's happening
Yeah.
between these episodes, because he's so
Good way to put that.
angry, and now they're working together in the next episode. You know, in the next canonical episode, what happened in between?
Excuse me, 2 seconds. Good evening, so-called, and thank you so much for the subscription. Okay.
I think that this
Come
was,
and join us in World of Warcraft Ascension, goddamn you. Anyway, carry on.
I think this was really the one I enjoyed the best.
Oh, well, like I said at the start of all this, the narration on most of these did leave something to be desired, I found. A lot of the narrators didn't really bother too much to try and give much of... And impression's the wrong word. Not to do an impression, but to give an impression of the character. I mean, we're fine with the next one. Well, I don't want to move on from AWOL just yet. There was a short story by Vanessa Bishop. There we go. You'd like Kai. You really would. Yes, there was a short story in the first Decalogue by Virgin Books back in the 90s, written by Vanessa Bishop, which is essentially set in the same period, just after Doctor Who and the Silurians. It's called The Straw That Breaks the Camel. Well, it's The Straw That Broke. And the Doctor discovers an alien craft has landed, and he hasn't told UNIT, and he's gone off on his own to try and sort it out. The Brigadier's furious. And again, the point is rammed home. These two people don't actually know each other. They've only they met up in the underground, then they had the whole Tobias Vaughan incident, and then suddenly he turns up with a new face. And from the Doctor's point of view, like you say, humanity's let him down. And the Brigadier in this audio does try to justify his own reactions. If not justify them, but to reiterate them and why. So
I think that was one of the really good elements, is the Brigadier saying, look, you have priorities, but I have a responsibility. I have a sworn duty, and my duty is to humanity, and this was a threat to humanity, and I'm sorry I had to do it, but I would do it again if I had to. And he understands, like, admitting that he's not sleeping well. I mean, he's admitting the responsibility and the burden of command, which the Doctor in many ways does not have.
no, he's a free agent.
I mean,
almost.
Yeah, I mean, he
He's
does
a
have
gadfly,
responsibility.
really,
for-
yeah.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the modern Doctor likes to run away from things like that.
Mhm. As soon as and the Doctor, that's why the Doctor ran in the first place, right? I mean, not the stealing the TARDIS thing, but they wanted to give him responsibility, and he didn't want it. Because responsibility means having to, not that he doesn't carry burdens, not that he doesn't feel bad about things he did that were necessary or whatever, but it's not the same. It's not having to
Limits
face
his
those
choices.
same, yeah.
I'd like to ask you, and I'm not questioning it, I'd just like to ask you where that origin story you've got that from.
That he ran because they wanted to give him
Of authority?
responsibility.
Mhm.
Well, I think what I'm probably thinking of is the Tom Baker one where they wanted to make him president or something, and that's why he.
Deadly Assassin. Righty.
That was a good one.
We should watch that one.
Because I was thinking
We
quite
should do
upon
that
a
one, yeah.
time, apparently he ran off to find out whether how good combats evil. Which I'm sorry, I prefer what we were told earlier, that, like you were saying, to what we got told in that. There's a lot
Well,
more
responsibility diminishes freedom.
Yes.
Mhm.
Quite so.
At least
And
in
the
his
doctor
eyes.
is big on freedom, and it's kind of funny because the doctor, in many ways, is sort of a childlike character. You know,
Mhm.
he's like the wise child character archetype. He knows so much and is kind of not quite innocent, but almost in a lot of ways, right? And so, even though, like in the Time Wars and stuff, he loses a lot of that, but especially in his earlier incarnations, even when he's a cantankerous old man, as we see with the
Yeah,
first Doctor, right? Like, still,
Sorry,
he's not intentionally vicious. You understand? He's a bit of a bastard, but he's not evil because he still has this sort of weird. It's not naivete. It's not quite innocence. It's quasi innocence, I guess. That kind of leads him on his adventures, and it's this. I don't know. I guess an intergalactic sort of Peter Pan complex really is probably the Doctor's like hallmark, right? That's his thing. And I only know that because having one myself, I identify completely.
Isn't
So
the
it's
classic
cool.
quote from the Tom Baker's Doctor? What's the point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes?
Exactly.
I
Right.
rather prefer to change it. I like to say, what's the point of being grown up if you can't be childlike? Rather than
Child
It's
is
why
childlike.
it's why the psychic paper shorted out.
Sorry, is Mr. Sock missing tonight? I'm a responsible adult. No, finally, a lie too big.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. Like.
Oh dear, that's I take it from that conversation we all rather enjoyed AWOL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
next up, this is where this is another good one. This is by Sophie Isles, friend of the show. And it's read by Dan Starkey, everybody's favourite Sontaran. And a man who knows his way around, come up with the right words for this, but the English language.
Okay.
He's actually very interested in phonetics and how language works and
Okay.
accents and the like. So, yeah,
I'm-
basically, there's a terrible spaceship crash in space, except it's on a planet which is in space, and a family managed to escape from the ship, and this strange sort of Scotsman with the tack eyebrows comes along and starts saving them. They're incredibly suspicious of him for most of the play, but he's seeing them through everything that's happened, and to him it seems like it's a historical event. Spanky, do you want to go on this? I don't know if a little bit heard this one.
No, I didn't hear that one.
Okay, it's a good one.
It's
This
a
is
shame, 'cause it sounds
the
like a good
dying
one.
world doing the Teneborgs, right?
Yes, yep.
And
Yep.
he ends up giving them basically this new planet thing. That was kind of cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I could remember more than that.
I know, that's the
specifically.
trouble with these, I found. These particular things, they are fleeting.
They're short and they go through you quick. That's true.
They are
It's
fleeting
not
and they
like when you're
don't
listening to the
really
longer
stick
ones
in.
with more and more involved parts, right? They're
I mean,
this is like reading short stories, like a collection, and then trying to recount them all to somebody. It's like,
the Third Doctor thing, it's John Culshaw basically acting everything, and it just carries you with it. Dan Starkey does a great job here with this. I do remember this one, and it's a good story.
It's
I know
a bit,
it's a
the
good
way you were
story.
describing it. It sounds a bit like oh, I can never remember. the
And
name
Sophie
of it.
Isles wrote that.
The Volcano Day one, where he can't save people, and then Donna's like, "Well, guess what? You don't have a choice. You're going to. So
Well, he seems to have learnt from
suck it
that
up."
by now. He's very
Well, that
cheerful.
would make sense because he's that
It's
incarnation
the 12th
is.
Doctor. Yeah.
So it makes sense that he learned the lesson.
Exactly. That's why he frowned himself that face. I do love that line. Who frowned me this face? That's good. Okay, after that, Identity Check. Anybody listen to that one?
Was it Identity?
I listened to all of them, but
Identity Crisis or something like that.
Identity Check, A Ninth Doctor and Rose Adventure.
Okay, yes, I heard that one. Yes.
that's the one with Rose.
Yep.
That's
She's
the
one of my
one with-
favorite companions. So yeah, I like. I'm a big fan of
Really?
Billie Piper. Beautiful woman, and she's smart, good actress.
We haven't watched our watch through of the Ninth
10th.
Doctor at
It was
all.
10th Doctor, really.
Well, it
That's
was
when
9 and 10.
But to be fair, we were praising the actress.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah, she's
how
fantastic.
She did the performance. She makes Rose very unlikable.
Yeah, Rose is an unlikable character at all points in time.
But again, Billy Piper's brilliant at it.
Yeah.
Emphasizing.
Hmm. No, that's how you know when an actor or an actress makes you actively dislike a character.
Yeah.
That's like they're really doing their job.
Yeah, and it's a
And
bold
it's subtle too, because throughout the whole thing, everybody's like, "Oh, Rose is fantastic. Rose is great." Then watch her. Hey, wait a minute. Why is she doing that?
Wait a minute. What?
What? Did she really do that to Mickey?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. It's
She's
the whole
really not-
hindsight.
She's not great to Mickey at all.
Mm-mm.
I'm afraid I don't remember this one at all. Identity check.
This is the one where the guy, it's after he's on like a mining planet where they're all supposed to be cooperating, and he's he hates the other side, hates them very much. And it turns out
But ding! Carry on, please. But yes,
and then he's there's hints.
we're allowed
there's
spoilers now.
Okay, there's hints
great.
as subtle as a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
That he is one of them. And then it turns out at the end, basically, he is like a commander or a higher
War
up.
crimes.
Yeah, who's responsible
Oh, yeah.
for that? And this is
In hiding.
that guy's version of Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, or a Brazil kind of thing, yeah.
He almost used the chameleon arch. Almost.
Yeah,
Sort of,
and-
yeah,
Changes
right.
his
The whole
race, his
memory
personalities,
overwrite
his
with the
memory and
genetic
everything,
overwrite thing
yeah.
and all that.
yeah.
It's almost the same thing.
Very cool.
Although I mean, it's a little heavy-handed. This story, it's a lot heavy-handed. This story.
Oh no,
However,
it is. It's preachy. It's downright preachy in parts. You can say
However,
it.
the interesting idea of him honestly actually hating himself so much that for what he's done and his part in all of this, that when he transforms into this dead human with the dead human's memories, who would have hated him anyway, he internalizes that hate so much that he's really just xenophobic toward what turns out to be his own race. And how much of that is inherited memory and how much of that is internalized self-hatred.
Self-loathing, yeah.
Yeah.
That leftover psychic impression that no matter how many fake memories they're going to jam in you, there's going to be a piece left over, and that was the biggest piece that he carried with him, right? That self-loathing that
That's why he
that
was
really
willing to
cemented
give up
him into the new
himself.
character.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is an interesting point in an otherwise rather heavy-handed story.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
you enjoy it?
And that was I think that was the salvation of it, right? From becoming like just a preachy kind of mess that you saw so much of the guy's self-loathing versus the obvious racism, right? That was out there in the world. It was more him on this voyage of self-discovery. That was the only thing that saved it. Because if it had been the doctor trying to preach it like society to fix things, never would have worked. That story would have failed horrifically. But because it
it's
was all about this
essentially-
guy's internal battle.
It did what Atticus Finch said. He walked a mile in somebody else's shoes.
He
And,
walked more than that, right? He walked years in somebody else's shoes before he got back to his own, and then went,
and then
"Oh,
went
damn!"
Bang! Suddenly he's got it from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good one, that one. Table for two, dinner for one.
I like this one too.
Yes, so did I. It's a 10th Doctor story about a young woman who's going on a date at the
Sort of weird-ass space vampires.
Restaurante del Cosmo. Just before she goes in, she's waylaid by the 10th Doctor, who warns her, but she still goes in, and then it gets
Christopher
a bit
Eccleston was
strange.
not given enough time
It
as the
gets
Doctor.
it gets strange.
Thank God for the big finish.
You're saying the 10th Doctor doesn't get enough time?
I say Christopher Eccleston did not get enough time as the
Right.
Doctor.
Oh, well,
but
you'll like what's coming next
thank
week.
God
then.
for the big finish.
You'll like what's
Yeah.
coming next week.
Mhm.
Yes, and she's basically being put through a psychological emotional hell with the guy not turning up, and turns out the waiters and the other restaurantees, I don't know. They're basically feeding off the negative emotions caused by things like this, and feeding to death, basically. And the Doctor's trying to get in there to save her. I enjoyed this one. Spanky?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. It had all kinds of cool stuff. You know, he's trying to save the girl, and she's like, "Who the hell are you?" And you know, it's that she is so consumed by her life events that she doesn't understand anything that's going on around her. Honestly, she's completely oblivious to the world around her. Pretty much, she's in this creepy, weird restaurant, being led there by what she thinks is her friend and all this other stuff. And then
It's a
as
first
she
person
slowly
story,
breaks
isn't it?
out of that, say again.
First person, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. I always like a first person story.
From her point of view, right? And as she breaks out of that, you get to see how the story impinges upon her consciousness, going and kind of breaking her, you know, extremely self-referential story into this wider story with the Doctor and these aliens and all this. That, you know, because she starts off mooning about this guy that she told she loved, and you know, didn't return the feelings, and then how she becomes prey to these aliens because of these feelings and stuff. I thought it was a really good idea. I thought it was a pretty interesting way to write a story too. So
Okay, I enjoyed it.
I liked it a lot.
The final one's the Galwar Group, which I'll admit I listened to just before we started the show. It's a bit of a mess. I'm going to be honest with you. It's all about time rifts and paradoxes. It's the 11th Doctor and Valerie meeting a very famous mathematician who's due to die within 2 years. And unfortunately, there's a rift, and suddenly there's multiple different time versions of people, and Blinovich is turning in his grave. And yeah, Spanky, what did you make of this? Because I lost it. I didn't follow it.
This was. It was
It just was.
This story was kind of claustrophobic because it's basically all inside of Valerie's head, and it's not actually Valerie, but an sort of a temporal after image of Valerie because of some weird time happenings that happen. We're not going to go into all the science, but
Please, let's not.
and she's kind of writing a letter to herself because at one point she'd had a serious conversation with the Doctor about the whole, you know, who can you save and who can't you, because they have that time when, you know, he breaks the rules and she's like, what the hell, you know, why can you do it and I can't? Because the fixed points in time thing seems to be a little bit arbitrary at times, right? So and this is how she kind of comes to grips with that and leaves this as sort of a note to herself to help her understand that whole, you know, why things are like this, you know, because the temporal afterimage or whatever that she is eventually disappears, but it was her and had all the feelings and thoughts and everything else, just like the other little afterimages, right? They were just as valid as people, but they were doomed from their inception because there can only be one timeline, right? And they can't exist all at the same time in the same space and time. So they all had to get shunted out as time got fixed. So it was very interesting. It was kind of claustrophobic the way it was written, but there was enough, you know, outside elements that it didn't, you know, choke you out. They did a pretty good job.
There we go.
It was Sophia Ingar. It's good writing.
What? Hang on.
God.
What did you make of the whole thing as a package?
I liked it. I thought it was very good. I don't mind the short episodes, but they're when you get a whole profusion of them, it gets difficult to keep them straight. That's
It
for
is
sure.
very much
But
so.
as we work through them, I can remember more. As farther we go down, like I can
I think
remember
there
more
might
and more
be a
each time.
lesson
So
to be
that's a good
learned
thing.
from that next time they release something like this, maybe spread it out a bit.
Oh,
Anyway,
you know,
next week. Do you want to know what you're getting for next week?
dying to learn.
Okay, you ready for this? The next Ninth Doctor box set with Christopher Eccleston.
Oh, yay!
I thought you'd be happy about that.
Woo! I like Chris Eccleston. I think he's a
I
good
do
actor, and he did a great Doctor. I just really wish he would have gotten 3 or 4 seasons. I mean, that would have been epic.
And I'm glad he came.
Could've-
I'm glad he changed his mind and came back and did Big Finish.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I thought
very
that was
much
pretty
so.
cool. Thank God for Big Finish, because you get more of the Eccleston Doctor, which was a really good Doctor.
Oh yeah.
He did a good job.
So I
A lot of guys
Never
say
skip
really.
9.
Well, I thought a lot of actors really have a hard time right at the start finding their Doctor, but Eccleston just seemed to nail it from the giddy up. I thought so. I'm really he's one of my favorite actors as the Doctor.
Also, he had an advantage being the first Doctor in the new series that they were writing specifically for, if not for the actor, if they didn't, I don't know if they wrote the scripts first and then they hired him, what order that went in, but whichever order it was, they had in mind who they were writing for, and they wrote consistently for him the whole season. Whereas, when other Doctors have come aboard, and we see it in the old series, we see it in the new series, often they've inherited traits, or the script was already half written or completely written, and now the new. So they're. I mean, bless.
Right.
the
You have the
Polly.
archetype of the Doctor, and that's how the scripts were written. And then the actors had to force themselves into that and try and make it their own back in the old days in the original series, right? And the newer series, you see episodes being more tailored to the actor,
I'm thinking,
and that's working a lot better.
I am thinking that that only really happened to Sylvester McCoy. He got a generic.
He
script.
inherited.
Yeah, because of all the
Well,
shenanigans that
but
have been going on. But I
when
don't
you
think it
look at-
happened with anybody else. I think it was all very.
When
much
you look
planned.
at Robot, though, Robot is really a third Doctor script
It's a
with the fourth Doctor in it.
Yes, yes, very
Yeah.
much so.
And that happens a few times. I mean, the first few, I would argue that they, not that Peter Capaldi's first scripts are David Tennant scripts, I'm sorry, not David Tennant, are Matt Smith scripts, because they're not. But they didn't quite know what to do with his Doctor in the first season.
No, they didn't.
They're not great.
I mean, they do
my
tell-
favorite season is him with Bill.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because they figured
it's
out
awkward.
what to do with him.
Yeah, the man's an idiot.
Huh?
It's that obvious. He's realised he's an idiot.
And
Took him a whole
honestly,
season to
they
do
weren't-
so.
Yeah, they weren't utilizing Bill enough too either. So and that's
No,
the other half of the
that's-
equation. There's the Doctor,
And
but there's
that's a
also the
shame.
companion.
That's a team I'd love to see come back for Big Finish.
Bill
but
was an
I
epic
think
Doctor,
Peter Capaldi's
Doctor
put
companion. She was great. So
The mockers on that, unfortunately, which is sad. So next week, Planet of the Daleks and the
I love the
Ninth
one with
Doctor
the
box set.
Romans.
Right, this
I'm
is
like
where I take-
everybody. I like both. Too funny. Oh my God.
Shut up, Spanky.
I'm just fangirling. Sorry.
Yeah, yes. This is where I take a seat back. They're going to be talking about Space Above and Beyond, and quite frankly, I have no interest. Go.
Can't attack eyebrows like that. For those of you who don't know who Bach May is in China cinema, I'm just saying. Anyway, go ahead, Brian, please.
All right, so Space Above and Beyond, episode, what are we, 19 billion? I
I
don't
don't
know.
care.
19 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, so the squad is getting a much needed break. The unfortunate thing is that the squad seems to be stuck in a script that was Melrose Place in space with Marines.
Yeah.
That's the
Could
best
you
way I
possibly-
could state that.
Could you give a British example of that? Because I don't know what Melrose Place is.
Heavy, young, teen, tween drama.
What's
Lots
that
of
show?
BS, lots
The
of
Only Way is
sexy people
Essex?
doing dancing things and clubbing and
I
You
don't
know.
It's
know
that.
if we've
It's
got
Bullshit.
it's like that.
I
That
suppose
Essex
we've got
show
something
about
that
those-
really does not belong in a show about Marines fighting a
Jarheads.
war
Okay.
for the survival of the
Nicely
human
pulled
race.
back there, Brian. Nicely pulled back. Carry on.
Yeah. So they go on R&R, and hilarity ensues. The biggest standout for this is the fact that the Fox executives placed it before a very, very penultimate episode of the X-Files on Friday nights. So in order to ensure that, people will watch, they threw in Coolio.
Right.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Club called Gangster's Paradise, by any chance?
No. But apparently, when you go on R&R at this place, everything has a price, whether you know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it just spirals out of control. You see Vanessa and Wang they start to hit it off a little too much during this episode. There's a little bit of attraction. You see, honestly, the Colonel has the best part of all this. He just goes off into a theater and watches old black and white comedy reels. It's fantastic.
Munching popcorn. Mm-hmm.
Yep, munching popcorn. Just sitting there. Meow, 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 meow. It's great. It's all he does for his entire R&R. Yeah. I can't remember. Spanky, is it West or Hawks that goes in to see him at the end?
West,
West?
who should have died because he almost killed Hawks, but West should die anyway because
I was going to say,
West,
every
and
week
West
you
sucks.
say West needs to die. So
It's
He
not
needs to
wrong.
die. He should have been killed a long time ago. We hate West. I'm the best pilot in the unit, except maybe for the Colonel. I'm like, somebody put a bullet in that guy's head, please, for the love of God.
He's also the biggest pain in the ass in the entire
Yes, he
unit.
is. The whiniest, biggest punk ass. God, that guy would have got so many blanket parties, man. He would have had the hell beat out of him.
So, Spanky, what did you think about this episode?
I thought it was kind of trite because they packed all this crap into it just to give Hawks a drug problem, basically, right? Drugs are bad in K, really, because, they're all wore out, they're tired, they're fighting this war, I get it, but, like, it shows them on their little... Yeah, right? It shows them on this little patrol thing, and they, West almost wipes into Hawks, and then, like, then they have a little battle, and Hawks gets hurt, and then it's... a careless doctor gives him the wrong drug, and next thing you know, he's a speed freak basically or something, and he happens to run into for lack of a better word, an in vitro prostitute, a tank prostitute who, luckily enough, shares the same addiction, and you can imagine where it goes from there.
Well,
She has a baby, and like,
there are several things I remember about this. One being that this was supposed to be Fox's executives' attempts to fix the show.
yeah,
Because if you remember at the time, in the 90s, Fox wasn't known for its genre shows. I mean, X-Files was way outside the box for the standard Fox show. You had Beverly Hills 90210. You had Melrose Place. You had, I don't know,
a lot of drama,
other crap.
Right?
Yeah, teenage soap operas.
Yeah. And then you had the X-Files. And then you had this show. Way outside of the norm. The only thing really that they did to tie it together was have David Duchovny do a cameo in this.
His cameo on it. It's Coolio and David Duchovny, right?
Coolio and David Duchovny as an android. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
There were a lot of drugs done in the Fox offices during the 90s, from what I can tell.
What were they smoking?
Not good ones.
Not good ones.
No.
Not near
these
enough.
are the kids who are snorting like Adderall or no, they didn't have that.
However,
they were out there crushing up those caffeine pills and doing that because they didn't know any better. And they're smoking catnip because they didn't know an actual weed dealer. That's how it was. That's what they were doing.
However, if they're looking, at the moment, we know an excellent place that you can cook up.
Yes. Yeah, there were just way too many Fox executives snorting coke off a hooker's ass.
Oh my God, yes.
This is just horrible. As things go, yeah, you can really see the downfall of this series.
You can see where the series is going starting here.
The
when you
skid
start
is
pulling
starting
random
now,
guys
and
like
they're
that
not
stuff.
steering into it.
All they needed was like Cousin Oliver, and that would have been like, oh, the show's doomed. And
I
that
would
would have
have
been
gone
it.
with
Right?
Cousin Oliver. I would have liked a new.
I would have totally done a
introduction
Cousin
of a new
Oliver.
character.
I
I
would
wouldn't
have had it.
mind.
I'd have been it. They could
Replace
have done a
West.
Battlestar Galactica and made him like that second series thing where he was the super child or whatever, and like that would have been great. Yeah, Holly Minnis, he's like some wicked like tactical genius or something. He starts giving them all advice, and they all get killed by the Chigs, and that's
All
the
right,
end of it.
How
Earth blows up, and
bad
we're done.
is a
It'd
show
be great.
getting when we're referencing Galactica 1980 to fix it?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Because Cousin Oliver actually shows up much earlier than that, and shows like 8 is enough and stuff like that, and that's where the whole idea started with the Cousin Oliver death knell. Right when this kid shows up, the show's dead. You know?
There is a shark. This has
my God.
long since jumped
Are
it.
you saying 7 of 9 was Cousin Oliver?
Not quite.
No, but she's welcome at any family gathering I ever
Yeah,
have.
that's because you're a pre-ver.
Definitely.
I haven't reminded
It's 7
you
of
that for a
9.
while. You're a pre-ver.
Gotta be something.
Hey, do not disrupt my love of Seven of Boob.
Just saying.
I wish they hadn't put her in.
My
that
favorite
suit.
boob. I mean Borg. Yeah.
She's such a good character, and they
It
put her
is
in
such
that
a good
suit,
character.
and then all anybody sees is the stupid suit.
Uh-huh.
That's
No, it's
because
true.
they showcase it every.
I know.
Every single
it's so
freaking
annoying.
show, right?
It reminds me of the Galaxy Quest thing where she's like, my TV guide interview was 7 paragraphs about how my boobs fit in my suit.
Yeah, right. That's it. Exactly.
Exactly.
Like what the
At
hell?
least now she's a
like that.
captain.
She's getting better,
Yeah.
a better deal in the new thing with
Yeah.
Patrick
In
Stewart. She's
Picard,
doing
she's
much
getting
better.
a much
Picard,
better.
she's doing so much better.
handling.
Here. Right then.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy this episode?
Justice for Jay, right?
It was a little painful to watch.
It was painful.
How many episodes
was
of this have you got
painful.
left? Because I need to know what to plan next.
Far too many.
Far too many.
You
Far too
wanted
many.
to see this. You asked me to
And
do
more.
this.
I haven't seen it in 30 years. Shut up.
Right. You forget all the things that, was new and cool back then. Like the first time you saw Battlestar Galactica, or when you saw Deep Space.
4 left.
Just saying. Yeah. Deep Space Nine, or when you
See,
saw
there are
anything else, like
shows-
the first time.
Like Babylon 5,
5.
or Deep Space Nine, I really would like to cover, but there's just too much of them.
We could watch Battlestar
back,
Galactica.
Again, too much.
The new one or the old one?
The
New one.
The original?
Yeah.
The new one. Okay.
She won't watch the old one.
What?
I've got
What?
that for a
She won't
start.
watch Buck Rogers either.
What?
Noonan
I know.
would tell me off, quite frankly.
My God.
He's got a thing about me. Well, no, it was mostly Space 1999 rather than Buck Rogers. But I did watch some Buck Rogers.
Space
the
19.
new
We can
boy's
watch
not
that.
very
That was a
happy
good show.
about it.
There's nothing wrong with the new with
There
the
are,
70s
there's
Buck
plenty
Rogers.
wrong with the new boy. Just trust me on
No,
this.
no. With the 70s Buck Rogers. There's nothing wrong with it. It's pure schlock.
It is schlock. Total
The
schlock.
plot
Okay,
to
bro.
kill a city. Come on.
Right.
Now, if we could put
It had
those
Jamie
next to
Lee
like
Curtis.
Republic
It had
serials,
Marky
right?
Post. It had
And
guest
Marky
stars
Post.
galore.
Yeah.
It had what's his name?
What was her name?
Arnold.
Anderson, the female lead. What the hell was her name? It had her.
Erin
She was
Gray.
good. Aaron Gray, right? And then, what's his name that played the Buck Rogers? And you were like,
Joe
Gil
Girard.
something or other, right? And then it just kind of
Season
just
2
threw it
of it
out.
really shat the bed, and I think maybe
Really
we
shit
should
the bed,
watch
yeah.
that just to watch how horrible
I
it is.
think
Because you
that
love
would be-
horrible.
we do horrible well. But
We
I
do
think
horrible
we could watch
really
that
well.
and compare it to the Republic serials, and give you an idea like where it came from and how the Buck Rogers stories and stuff have evolved. I think that would be cool to
It
talk
could
about.
be worse. We could watch the
Flash Gordon too.
Sci-Fi Channel redoing of Flash Gordon from
Oh
like
my, yeah.
early 2000s.
With the Queen
Oh,
soundtrack.
Little Bit knows
that's great.
exactly
We'll do
what
that.
I'm talking about.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw the
I'm
previews and
talking- we'll
didn't
do that.
watch it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was a special kind of hell.
The Max
Yeah.
Night Owl Ming. That was
She's either
great. I
frozen
loved
or we broke her.
it.
I'm getting one of my heads.
Come on, it was great. An early role for Timothy Dalton in there too, and like all
No,
these
no,
others.
Spanky,
Oh, man, that
Spanky,
was-
Spanky. You're thinking of the film. They're talking about the Flash Gordon TV remake.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
it was a Sci-Fi
Oh,
Channel
yeah.
remake. It only got like
I
one
am
and a
very
half a
familiar.
season or
Two
with-
something.
episodes or something, right?
I am very familiar with the Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon Republic serials. We used to get them in the summer holidays over here.
I love those. Do you used to get those? The
I-
Little
I've still got
Rascals,
some of the
Flash
music
Gordon,
stuck in
Buck
my head.
Rogers, The Batman, Shazam.
So
Interesting
I
note-
do know the history of it behind it. yeah.
Interesting note: they have a Flash Gordon RPG for Savage Worlds.
They do, as a matter of fact. Yes, they do. I'm sure that
Fascinating.
would be fun, as a matter of fact.
They have the Worlds of Mongo.
Oh my goodness!
Ooh.
Does that mean we have to get a Blue Peter presenter to come and stick his arm in a tree?
It just means keep an eye out on what planets you visit.
Right here.
Oh yeah,
yes,
'cause
because
that
you're
could
not
be
adverse
fun.
to stealing ideas, are you?
I'm.
Star Wars in Battlestar Galactica.
It was
I
a
know.
great
There is
idea.
nothing wrong
It
with
worked
that.
perfectly.
It did. It really
Plagiarism
And it
is
was
the best
so,
kind
and
of
it ended
jurisms
so
there are.
much better than the goddamn series.
did. And I'm a
Fracking
god.
angel.
It's great. I ended up a god again. It's just don't know how that happened. Anyway,
Plagiarize it and make it better.
let's try and cleanse our palate a little bit, shall we?
That'll never happen.
Can I
but
just
let's
say,
try.
I'm very, very glad that Callan, this series of Callan,
Mm.
is in colour. Because right at the start, Hunter goes to red alert, and it means changing the bulb, and we now know it's at red alert. Basically, Liz, Hunter's secretary, nowadays should be called a lot more, has gone missing, and because she's Hunter's secretary, the amount of things she has in her head could destroy God knows what. And so it's a case of hunt Liz and track her down. And
Let's be honest. Probably the whole office doesn't run when she's not there anyway.
she
Exactly.
is the
Yeah.
office,
No,
quite
it was
frankly.
at loose ends without her.
They couldn't
right?
afford
He was-
anybody else. It's ITV, trust me, they couldn't.
When you find out though why she's so useful. Part of it though is because she's Polish and speaks like 6 freaking languages.
Yeah.
How many
God,
languages does Hunter speak? I bet maybe 2
Russian
if he's
might be up
lucky.
there.
He got
Bits of
French while he
Russian.
was in college.
Bit of Russian, do you
Maybe
think?
some Russian.
Yeah.
I don't think he speaks Russian. We know Callan does, right? And a few other guys, but like I think Hunter had French or something. This particular Hunter.
So what you're saying is Liz is more qualified to run the office than Hunter is.
Oh, yeah.
Than Hunter, yes.
yes.
As a matter of fact.
To be
yes,
fair,
right.
that's like most officers.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And when the lady who runs the office retires, everybody realizes how much she actually did, and that no one knows how to do anything when she's
Brian,
not
you've
there.
experienced
yeah.
this in your own job
Mhm.
at times.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the way I'm planning to go out.
So,
No
Yep.
information, nothing. Just
Just boom.
best of
Later,
luck,
bitches, mic
motherfuckers.
drop, I'm out. Right. See ya.
so it turns out,
That's cool.
first of all, we find out that Tross, the new young agent who's got an attitude on him, played by Patrick Miller, has been lying because he and Liz were having a bit of a to-do together, and that's forbidden.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Not just because he's Hunter's secretary, but no
It's a no-go.
inter-office relationships in,
No.
in
not
spy
at all.
agencies, right?
And so that was a very satisfying moment where Callan beat up Cross. I'm going to be honest with you because
Slapped him around some, yeah.
it needed to happen because Cross.
That happens a few times actually
Yeah.
in the series as it progresses. Yeah,
Yeah, it has to happen because Cross is just too big.
he has to slap the boy down a few times.
He
Yeah,
really does, and it is becoming obvious now that Callan is the old hand. He is the senior man of
Mm-hmm.
the section, and Hunter sees him like that. Remember what I was saying about the
Oh, yeah.
relationship between Callan and Hunter? This one ends with the pair of them
Mm-hmm.
having a drink together, sat down comfortably, just chatting. It's a very
well, not
different
too much
relationship.
foreshadowing, right?
It's a very different.
He calls him
relationship.
that guy though. He calls later on. You hear him. He flatly identifies Callan as the most valuable asset he has in that unit.
Yep.
And, Callan's like, yeah, that's not really a compliment. It just means I'm going to get more of the shittiest jobs. And he's like, yup, that's right. You're the guy. and you can see it burns Cross, but he's kind of happy at the same time because he knows what that is, but it's true. And Callan is that guy. He's the guy, the go-to guy when, that's that old song, when it can't fail or whatever, you got one guy you rely on, and Callan's it.
So,
And Cross just doesn't do enough to learn from him.
what do you make of the story?
That's why he keeps getting slapped around.
Because we know where this
Say
has
again?
gone. Basically, oh dear God. Professor Zaroff has escaped from Atlantis and is currently a war criminal, Nazi war criminal, because nothing in the world can stop him now. I'm sorry, I've got to get these jokes out. And he's masquerading. He's I'm not a Nazi, honestly, personality is masquerading as some chemist or something like that, businessman, and he's over in London for a particular conference. Unfortunately, Liz came from a village called G. I think it was in Czechoslovakia. Am I right? Spain?
Poland.
Poland.
She was Polish, and during the Nazi occupation, he's the guy that slaughtered the whole village.
Whole village,
except for
her. He missed her. Man, women, and children killed, but he missed her, and she remembered. She found out he was coming over, and managed to nick a gun from the armourer. Nice to see a bit of continuity with the same actor playing the armourer, Harry Taub.
Oh yeah.
And he gets into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Cross, being useless, misses her. She ends up being... she does face up to this guy, but he overpowers her and drugs her.
Instantly, yeah.
Yeah, and Lonely goes and gets the groper. And I'm going to say this now. He's played...
Just the names of some of these people.
Yeah. He's played by Graham Crowden, the Scotsman. Basically, he's Soldeed from Horns of Nymon. He's from Very Peculiar Practice. He's from Nebulous. And it's... Graham Crowden is wonderful. But he's basically a doctor who was struck off for doing naughty things whilst patients are under anaesthetic. And he steals the entire episode, quite frankly, but you'd expect Graham Crowden to do that. And so Spanky, opinions, please.
I really like this episode because it really does. This is where you get the first real idea that Callan is that guy. He's older, yes, but also vastly more experienced and much more skilled than the other agents in the office. Now you're starting to get an idea of how much more skilled. The way he sets this guy up and forms this whole little plan and plot, and he eventually gets the Israelis involved and everybody else and just does all this crazy stuff, shows you the kind of mind he has, the kind of man he is, because Callan is an absolute bastard when he has to be.
Oh, God, yes.
Given the choice, he won't be, but, given an opportunity and the tiniest amount of incentive, and Callan will give you a gallon of bastard in a 2-ounce cup. Like,
how
no
creepy
problem.
was the caretaker at Liz's flats?
Right? Like, very creepy. And he wheedles his way right into him, right? Because he understands those guys.
Exactly. It's all right, friend.
Awesome.
Yes, no problem. And it's only towards the end that he starts to bring out tough guy. Gets the information he needs.
And that's the thing, too, right? Because he can always fall back on the tough guy thing because that's what he is ultimately. He is a hard man, as the Brits would put it, I guess. He's a professional bastard, and he is always ready to do some bastardry when he has to. And that's, come from a military man to that. And he's in good shape, but you can also see that too, right? When they're doing their
I was misquoting
thing,
Phil.
right?
Sorry, I'll shut up.
Oh no, it's okay. No, but that comes into play later too, right? Like the difference in his physical condition because of his age versus the other agents, that plays more into the series and the storyline.
We'll get
but
there. We will get there. What's the next one, Spanks? You're watching ahead at the moment, so you can tell us.
Oh, I'm way ahead because I
Well,
love the series, and it's been years and years since I saw it. I can't remember.
Village Called G was the last one. We'll find out. Don't you worry.
I'd have to. Let me check the. Let me see.
Let's have an awkward.
Hang on a
pause
second.
whilst we
I will
watch
let you know.
Hmm.
Was he Same Trick Twice? That's the name of the next episode.
that. Called what?
The Same Trick Twice is the name of the next episode.
Anyway, okay. So now we know what we're doing next week. There's an episode of Space and Beyond, God help us. Planet of the Daleks, Ninth Doctor box set, and Callan. Which I must admit, I too am loving rewatching this. I rewatch it maybe once every 2 years, which is quite a lot for me, if I'm honest with you. But there's certain things, for example, like Churchill the Wilderness Years, that's up on YouTube. I've been watching that, and it's another one to rewatch. It intrigues me. So yeah. What are you doing next week, Brian?
Working.
Any chance of some WoW?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. Spanky?
I heard they had an update on the server.
Yeah, I don't know if that's for the Thrall server or for Area 52.
No, that's for us too.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, we're going to have to look into that then.
It's next Planet of the Daleks, right?
Yep, Planet of the Daleks. Yeah, my favourites. Yes. Sorry. I love those Daleks. Those Daleks in Planet of the Daleks are the best Daleks. They just are. And apart from the MFI cabinets, it's the best TARDIS control room. Anyway, sorry. I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, Spanky, are you up for a bit more Rockstar gameplay at some stage?
Yes.
Because I take it what level's your barbarian now?
Like 24, I think.
Oh, you're out-leveling me. I think I'm going to have to start joining you with my my Tinker. And make everything go bang. Sorry.
Bang is good.
I've also tried the Necromancer class. I've got my skeletons back. Do you remember how much I love my skeletons in Diablo? I got them back. It's great. I hear
That's
the
frightening.
release date for Diablo 4 may have been put back. Am I right?
I haven't heard anything.
Oh, Retta would know.
Retta would know. Jess would know.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming we're doing that.
Oh.
How
could you
stupid
not?
Question. Yes.
Yeah.
Stupid question. I'm so sorry.
Silly
Spanky-
human.
Yeah.
So,
foolish
do we know
mortal.
the name of whatever the next big finish is going to be?
It's the Ninth Doctor box set, which I will send you straight away afterwards.
Yay!
A little bit. Other people have had trouble downloading it and putting it on their phone.
Okay.
It may be a case of opening it all up on the computer
And then
and
transferring it over.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I used
That's
to
all right.
use iTunes to transfer it over.
Okay.
I know Sinister had a lot of trouble with it as well. I
have a Galaxy. I don't have it. Dave had an iPhone. We were a split household. But I can download and then move it over as a
Who's
file.
got an alarm going?
No, there's no alarm.
I'm imagining.
Okay, I put all that up
That's a
in
worry.
general, so there
That's a
everybody
worry.
can see what we have for next week, right? I
Oh,
think I
thank
got them all correct.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
That's
Calendar, Space Above and Beyond, Big Finish. There it is.
Yeah, no, I have trouble
Correct.
if I want to stream the
Check
the
it out,
download
make sure I got
from
it
the,
right.
PC through to the Xbox. I have a trouble. You'll get about 7 or 8 tracks, and then it'll loop back to the start again. You might get 1 or 2 of the same track, and they're useless. And you have to sit there, and once the track's finished, you've got to go forward 2 tracks to get to the next track. And it's a pain in the arse. I don't know why they do that.
When I
but
used to listen to Big Finish on my iPod,
I listen to it on the app.
well, I used to have, I still have an iPad kicking around somewhere. It's how I got into podcasting in the first place. Is Circuit City went out of business, and I could finally afford to buy an iPod.
That's cool.
But I used to keep it on shuffle because of my music, and of course, then you inevitably end up listening to Big Finish on shuffle, and it makes all those time travel stories make even less sense.
Oh, I've done that before.
Right.
and you're sitting there and you think, are they doing something clever? Have
Yeah,
I missed something here?
Am I real? Am I dumb? Or
Yeah. No, I've done that. I think it was Black and White.
And then you look down and it's like track 6.
6,
Wait,
right?
I was on 2.
Right. Oh wait,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and it's a few chapters in before you realize you've done it. Yeah,
Oh, dear me.
but I got a 45-minute commute each way to work every day.
Oh, that's perfect.
So that's sort of my listening time.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Very much so.
And you have something to fill that horrendously
What are
long
you doing
drive.
this
Yeah.
week, Spanky?
Oh,
It's a tricky question.
how week is this? I have no clue.
Good.
Probably nothing important. I would go so far as to venture goofing off, being irresponsible, my usual.
Would you like me to start a new saga?
Sure, why not?
Is there more?
No, this is a new one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's got nothing.
Start the new one.
Garden Gate is over. It's all fine. It's done.
Garden Gate is taken care of. What about Fence Gate?
Yeah,
I just have
taken
money
care of.
on Garden Gate coming back to haunt Auntie.
Yep. Oh, I'm sure it will.
What about Car Gate?
I've got a form there. They're asking me if I'm excluded VAT, and I've no idea. I'm assuming I must be. I don't know.
Oh, I know what this week is.
Yeah. So, what about you, Lil?
It's a VA week, so it's going to be a bad week. Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot.
a rough week.
From what we got. Before.
Well, yeah, I took Monday off from work and told the kids why. They've been wonderful, really. But I did tell them, like, look, I'm taking a mental health day that day. And I think not only is it important for me, but it's important for them to have an adult modeling good mental health.
Oh, yeah.
And modeling,
You see,
like,
I
how do
couldn't
you...
imagine our teachers doing that back in the day. Things
Yeah.
have come along
No,
so
they
far
just get burned out and then start to suck horrifically, right? And that was why.
Right,
and take it out on the kids. Yeah.
right,
And then
right.
they start drinking a little bit more whiskey in their coffee.
Every
in the
day they
morning.
drink a little more, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Had several
Yeah.
of those, yeah.
I couldn't do that. Half a glass of wine and I'm asleep.
To be fair, I'm not far behind you. I don't.
So, yeah, but other than that, work for the rest of the week and tutoring as usual. And yeah, just
Can
that
I come
kind
and
of.
play D&D?
Sure. Well, they're not meeting Monday. They're meeting Wednesday because I'm not there Monday. It's great. I'm the adult in the room, but the kids run it.
Are you picking up anything?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
They do great.
Excellent.
They dungeon master like nobody's business. They come in with stuff created. They get real mad when their players don't tell them they're
very
not showing
cool.
up.
Ask them how they feel about the OGL.
Okay. Is this the thing that everybody was upset about 5 minutes ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that they seem to have attempted to not make people mad. I just knew people were
that's-
mad
They've
at
tried
them.
really hard, but no, that we all know
Everybody's
they're lying.
still mad.
You know how we know what they're lying?
Their lips are
Their
moving.
lips are moving.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
So yeah, just general work.
Are you
and,
picking up anything from D&D? Watching these D&D games?
Um,
Has anybody
bits
said, "Come
and-
on, Miss, join in"?
No. Part of the thing is I want to make sure, because some of them are actually my students, I do have to sort of maintain
A certain distance.
Yeah, and I couldn't join in necessarily with but I pick up bits and pieces, and every now and again I throw in an idea. And I love it when I hear ideas that we talked about in classes. Last year, so the year before that, so 3 years ago, I taught a kid who was. I teach seniors mostly, but I also teach the odd class here and there. So usually kids in their last year of school, they're 17 or 18. But I had a
They've
class
been
of
held
juniors
back
that
like
year.
Spanky
Okay, so
this,
they're
so,
old enough to watch Legend of Vox Machina.
Probably. Last year, I did a whole unit on
It's-
70s British sci-fi,
No,
and I
it's-
showed them Sapphire and Steel.
No.
Oh,
no.
nice.
Legend of Vox Machina
job.
is an online a YouTube.
No. It's an animated thing.
Yes, it's an animated thing. Yeah,
Amazon
there is
Prime.
swearing
Series
and
now.
stuff like that.
It's based off of
Amazon, yeah.
Critical Role on Twitch.
It would be
and
given an
YouTube.
18 over here. Oh, actually, I say
yeah.
that standards have been slipping.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they all watch what they all watch. I wouldn't. They all know how to work VPNs and get
Yeah.
around the school network and
I
watch wherever they
don't.
want. But they
It's life skills.
I've got NordPass and
that-
I've no idea how to use it.
that year we read so 3 years ago we read Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury with my
Nice.
class.
Did you make them watch the
Great
movie
novel.
afterward?
I did.
Nice.
Cool.
And then the next year, that kid who was in the D&D group and came up with an idea that they should have this creepy circus with the characters as part of their adventure. And I was
Nice.
sitting in the back going, yes! we
Very
we have
cool.
internalized literature. Yeah, it was great. It was great. I love it when that kind of stuff happens.
Okay,
It's
so
always
Watching the
nice.
younglings grow is always cool.
They're old. They're 17, 18, right?
Yeah.
they'll be
Okay.
all right. Oh, mind you, it is America.
Well, no, it's
You are
I
a
know a
bit
book
Puritan in
from
certain
the
areas.
90s that could inspire them in that, but it's not for kids' eyes.
The other thing is, there are things that I bring up references to that then I realize that reference is 20 years old and they have no idea. So, and in
Yeah,
like
don't you
big
hate that?
references, like Lord of the Rings references.
I don't understand the things these two come out with 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And
You
I
know-
only
It's because
reference the
you're culturally
90s
deprived.
most part.
And you,
Yeah.
you know that I'm in this position, so I know you'll translate for me. I got my reasons. I've got my reasons.
I always translate.
I,
Never
I,
afraid to explain or
No,
something.
You can't. No.
I teach Beowulf at the beginning of the year, and
Awesome.
yeah, I love Beowulf. So a whole lot of that stuff turns up again in Lord of the Rings because J.R.R. Tolkien was a scholar and
Oh.
just went.
Absolutely.
See,
And,
I'm
you
not the only
you
one,
pulled from-
Auntie.
He pulled from so many sources
Yeah.
culturally like that. So many
Yeah.
old myths and legends and things. Oh yeah. My
So,
God.
I was like, well, okay, you
Careful,
guys
your
remember
head
in
will
Lord of
fall
the
off.
Rings? And they went, no. And I went, oh, because the movie was made before they were born.
Right.
The movie.
Don't let them watch
was made.
the movie, the Beowulf movie. Either of them.
I
Oh
have
no.
shown
God. Oh no. Yeah.
I have shown chunks of the CGI horrific mess.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I showed the fight with Grendel because they were like, "There's a movie. We should watch the movie." I was like, "I will show you a chunk of the movie, and then you will understand why we will not watch the rest of this."
Mhm.
The arc in
Unless you're
space was
really
great training
into
ground.
Angelina Jolie, you don't need to watch the movie.
The
Yeah.
arc in
Really. And that's
space-
just
They got that CGI just a little bit too accurate.
The arc in space was a very good training ground for you, quite frankly, when it comes to teaching. You've seen every shit thing out there.
Yeah.
But for the love of God, make them watch the Christopher Lambert Beowulf movie.
Oh yeah. Right. Oh my
please
God.
make them watch that
Well-
and tell them it's
Ooh.
literature.
Right now we're finishing up their Macbeth unit, and some classes are
What
doing
did I
Macbeth,
tell
some
you?
are doing yes, the Scottish play.
And?
But it plays into that. Because some of them are watching Much Ado About Nothing or reading Much Ado About Nothing because I gave them a choice.
Cool. One of my
And,
favorite Shakespeare plays. Yeah.
so good. But
Yeah.
for the Scottish play, they watch a stage-bound, very traditional version as we read. And then at the end, we watch the, I think it was BBC, the Shakespeare Revisited
Oh.
Macbeth, with which is affectionately called McChef. It is excellent, actually. It's on YouTube, all the trigger warnings for all of it. But it is an excellent
who's in
encapsulation. Oh gosh, a really young. As soon as you asked me.
Let me say that it's going to be somebody called Sir.
No, it's not that kind of thing. No.
Oh.
Um,
The BBC used to do lots of classic things like that. I know they did one with Tennant.
Well, I know Joss Whedon did a Much Ado About Nothing.
yes, and that's
yeah,
very
right.
good.
That was surprisingly, yeah.
That's very
That
good.
was surprisingly good.
Yeah. It's Shakespeare Retold. These are from like 2005. It was BBC One.
Okay.
And this one had Vincent Regan, a very young James McAvoy, Keely
That's
Hawes.
right. James McAvoy.
That's him. And it's Richard Armitage is in it. It's actually really good. And basically Duncan's a celebrity chef. And they do the joke of we don't say Gordon Ramsay in this kitchen, we just call him the Scottish chef.
Right.
Nice.
But it's really good. So I show them that. And then I show them for the Much Ado kids, I show them the video version of Much Ado About Nothing with Tennant and Tate. Were you with us when we went to see that?
No.
No?
I think that was a you and Dave thing.
I think Adam may have gone, and Rob went. I know Rob went because he helped us get
I
tickets.
have not heard from Rob in years.
Neither have I.
And he's such a lovely guy. Really
He was, and he
a
was at our
sweet man.
wedding.
Yeah, he made the effort to get over there.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's great. I don't know.
Rob,
Disappeared
reach
off the
out and
radar
have
a
someone,
little
man.
bit.
What the hell, yo?
Time,
Right.
You know?
People disappear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that cheerful note, but what am I doing this week? Nothing.
Mm.
So that's my life.
Well, enjoying your garden, maybe?
It's too cold at the moment, unfortunately. And the trouble is, as I've pointed out previously, one of the joys of sitting in the garden was how green it was. I had huge trees and everything else like that. Now it's been done. There's nothing there. It's like a piece of Skaro has been scooped up and put there.
So you need
So
someone to
this
come out and do gardening.
I
Yeah.
need some greenery. But
This
I don't-
spring, you need to actually do some gardening in your garden.
Well, A, I can't do any gardening. And B, there's not much point because there's a chance I'll be moving next year. So I'll have to wait. And
All
see.
this work, and you finally get a garden, and now you're just going to up and move.
Yeah, I know. I do actually think about that. It's
Thing is, gardening is a long-term thing. Gardening is a gift to the future.
yeah,
It's an investment, right?
but I physically can't do it. So plus things die around me.
That's true.
And plants just no.
Oh, you need a spider plant. Those things can't be killed.
Yeah, things die around
Yeah,
here.
now
Whole
a
Challenge
plant too, right?
accepted.
illusions of respectability.
Yeah, spider plant, an aloe plant, a cactus. You'll be good.
No, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like I say, next year I'll be in a clearer position to know whether I can afford to move or not. I mean, I need to because I just don't have the space. I mean, those Daleks I got sent as feedback. Still got them in the box. It's 2 boxes worth. I've got no room for them. My TARDIS I've nearly finished paying for, and so and I'm gonna need the measurements from that. I keep asking him and he keeps forgetting. Bless him. So that I can get because you guys suggested very.
Oh, are we
sensibly.
supposed to say hello to Thomas? Still,
I don't know.
Is he here?
hello,
Hi,
Thomas.
Thomas.
So the housing manager for my housing association.
Right,
'cause
right.
I was letting everybody know what was going on, and so he had to tune into the show every week to listen to what I was saying. And I didn't tell one lie. And he was forced to listen to it. It was apparently he gets into it now, so he's a fool.
Good.
Yeah. Dear me. So a little bit. That was your first time around on Proper. What do you think? Will we do?
It was very good. Yes, I think I'm enjoying this, and you guys are very welcoming. So
No, we can work on that.
You haven't seen us get ADHD.
He
yet.
promises darkly. Yeah.
ADHD does not worry me.
Well, she knows I've got ADHD. Trust me. I mean, everybody knew I had ADHD except me. And then when I found out, everyone went,
You didn't
"Oh,
ask.
yeah,
You should
that's
have
right,
asked."
You have got it. Yeah. It's because, why didn't you tell me?
We thought
You never asked. We thought you knew.
Oh, well, I found out everything just fell into place. So much behaviour and everything else like that. And it's just, now I know. I mean, there's fuck all that can be done about it, but
Well,
I don't
but you
care.
can adapt.
I've got
You can-
something now.
Yes,
I
and it's
know what
not.
I'm
It's
talking
not.
about.
It's not just I'm strange or odd. It's this is how my brain works, and this is why it does what it does. And I
Exactly.
mean, you can't always force it to do what you want it to do, but you at least can figure out the tricks that work and the tricks that don't.
32 separate conversations I had spinning from one other conversation. Like a family tree, essentially. I was bad at that point.
Or like
I
last
actually
week's show.
counted them.
Yeah,
Last week's show was quite good. I have to
Last
admit,
week's show, we had tangents
It wasn't
on
bad.
tangents upon tangents.
We had
Tangents are
tangents
good.
on tangents of tangents
we're
that
allowed-
had
we're allowed
tangents.
tangents. I mean, the road less travelled.
That had tangents. That had side trips. That had freaking back alleys. That had tangents. That had just.
Saw an interesting thing on Facebook. Due to the publicity about the road not travelled being the better of the two, we now need to change it to the road most travelled, and the road most travelled is now known as the road less.
The interesting thing is in the poem, the road not traveled is not implied to be better.
Mm.
It's just implied to be other.
Hmm.
Oh, I like that.
It's other, and there's nothing wrong with other, right? It's not necessarily
What
better or
happens when
worse.
the
It's just other.
universe does that? Because I think when they turned on the LHC, we definitely entered the other.
Yeah, you're convinced that in 2012, when the Large Hadron Collider, we got turned into the darkest timeline.
Oh, the universe ended. This is now all a figment of my imagination.
Exactly.
Seek help.
Oh, I could come up with much
Seek
better
professional
things.
help.
If I was thinking this up, it would
Right?
be better.
By
Right?
the way, if that's the case, you and I have got a lot of things to talk about, mate.
I'm just saying that if this is my imagination, the food would be better.
And the people would be much better behaved.
Oh, yes. And I wouldn't have a case of road rage like I do.
Oh dear, Bod. Shall we shall we go? I just
Where are
like
we
to
going?
point out we're
Why?
back up to 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. We're back up to 2 hours again.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That
we
half
worked
hour
out
piece.
Each- How it works.
each person brings half an hour of content to the show,
Yeah,
that's
and
basically
we've
it, right?
proven it.
we've
Not
proven it.
deliberately. That's just what's happened.
Like if you weren't here a little bit,
Mhm.
it would be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tight 90
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we've timed this down. It's scientific now.
Plus, the
I'm
future
glad I could
historians
help.
mapped it out for us.
Yeah, the future historians really did show us the way.
That reminds me, I've got to translate that thing I got sent. The trouble is, I need to build a program.
Okay, I'm just gonna let you in on the truth now. It's a cookbook.
No.
It's a
I
cookbook,
got
yep.
sent- I've got
To
to.
serve man. It's a cookbook.
I've got to build a program that can read it. So when I do, I'll let you know.
When you build that program, just remind me to stay off the internet because Skynet will be born.
No, I wouldn't do that. I'm far too suspicious.
No, Google
Yes, you
just
will.
did that with that chatbot thing they have, right?
Uh-huh.
Baby Skynet.
Cat GPT or whatever.
I have
Oh,
no.
no, that's
I
the
mean,
other one. That's the screwed up one that'll probably
Microsoft have done
self-implode.
something
But
as
the other
well.
one,
Yeah, it is.
there's
starting
3 or
to get
4 of them out
scary.
there now.
I
They
just
tried.
have no time for that sort of thing.
They tried an AI bot writing a joke for The Last Leg this Friday just gone, and it's in the first part of this of our show. One of the jokes will be by the AI bot. You've got to work out which one it was, and it turned out to be the weakest thing going. I'm not even going to say it. It was that crap, and it's a case of they've got a way to go yet. There's a wonderful thing. An AI bot has been shown all the Batman films and given an overdose of Batman, and it writes a Batman film script. It is a delight.
It is
behold.
funny.
It is hilarious. I actually had somebody decided this is so funny. I'm going to draw it, and so we got a Batman comic based on well, not based on, exactly as scripted. Which, if I can find it, I will send it to you guys, because an explosion explodes.
Explosion.
It does.
Alfred, give birth to Robin.
All he needs is justice.
Yes, because I'm a bat. Anyway, we're going away. Thank you a little bit. I'll see everyone again in a week's time. Hopefully on Friday we'll do 2 fan dinosaurs to Kipra Traken. It depends. I was too tired to. Yes, on Friday. I just sorry. Anyway,
Too much rating.
yeah. Say goodbye.
Give the world's best support our love.
Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
Madge Orwell's
Scientists have
chart.
proven we have now experienced the darkest John Levine.
What the fuck was that?
That was perfect.